Welcome to Chroma Celebs. I'm Luna Mendoza, bringing you the latest shocking updates on Sister Wives. Unexpected twists, emotional moments, and unbelievable drama. Stay tuned till the end. In the realm of reality television, perception can often outweigh reality. The storylines, the confessions, the tears, and the drama all shape a narrative that audiences consume and interpret. But what happens when the picture being painted isn't the full story? What if the silence, the half-truths, or the seemingly calculated responses lead to more damage than transparency ever could? In the case of Robyn Brown, the last remaining wife of Kody Brown on Sister Wives, her lack of openness might be doing more harm than good. In fact, it's starting to look like Robyn Brown's biggest mistake isn't being involved in the family's demise, but her refusal to be completely honest about what really went down. As Sister Wives continues to evolve, especially following the heartbreaking exits of Christine, Yanel, and Mary, Robyn has increasingly become the focal point of fan frustration. While Kody has taken heat for his temper and blatant favoritism, Robyn's tears, cryptic explanations, and calculated calmness are being examined with a microscope. And the results? Not flattering. The mounting criticism she faces seems less about her being inherently villainous and more about her not telling the whole truth when it matters most. Fans are left wondering, who is the real Robyn Brown? And why won't she just level with them? To understand the current backlash against Robyn, we need to rewind the clock. Robyn Brown entered the Brown family in 2010 as Kody's fourth wife. At the time, her appearance was framed as the exciting addition of a new member to an already loving plural family. Viewers were told she was sweet, spiritual, and looking for sisterhood. But almost instantly, things changed. It wasn't just that Robyn was different. She came from a monogamous past and brought 3 children with her. It was that her presence shifted the dynamic of the entire family. As Kody became more obsessed with her, the other wives, Christine in particular, began to feel the walls of their marriage structures crack. Christine expressed it openly. She no longer felt loved. Yanel seemed to retreat, focusing on her children and career. Mary's relationship with Kody deteriorated beyond repair. All while Robyn seemed to be at the epicenter of change, playing the role of the quiet observer. But viewers weren't buying her innocence for long. As the seasons went on, a pattern began to emerge. Robyn would cry, claim she didn't want to be the only wife, and act confused about why the family was breaking apart. But even as she wept, her actions contradicted her words. When Christine left, Robyn's response wasn't shock. It was measured sadness, the kind that felt prepared. She maintained that she always wanted a unified family, yet viewers saw that she was living in a sprawling mansion, separated from the struggles the other wives were enduring. Her emotional interviews lacked the kind of raw honesty that Christine or Yanel often showed. There were no bold statements, no explosive truths, just vague allusions to wanting peace and love. And therein lies the problem. Robyn's inability or refusal to be fully transparent with fans and her fellow wives has made her look disingenuous. While others have bared their souls and admitted their missteps, Robyn has continued to speak in riddles. She insists she didn't want to be the favorite, but doesn't confront Kody's bias toward her. She says she's not the reason the other marriages failed, yet she doesn't take any ownership for her role in the fallout. This lack of accountability is precisely what has turned fan perception against her. It's not that she's the root of all problems, it's that she pretends she isn't involved at all. One of the most glaring examples of Robyn's lack of honesty comes from the family's financial drama. While the other wives were scraping to buy homes or living in rentals, Robyn and Kody purchased a nearly $900,000 mansion in Flagstaff. And yet, Robyn claimed they were financially strapped. Viewers were shocked. How could they be struggling while living in luxury? Robyn never gave a clear answer. She expressed guilt and discomfort, yet continued living in the home that symbolized inequality. It became the physical representation of Kody's favoritism. And instead of addressing it directly, Robyn danced around the subject with emotional but vague responses. She blamed the stress on external issues, the move to Flagstaff, the pandemic, miscommunications. But she didn't address what was staring everyone in the face. Her family was living in wealth while the others were left out. Again, it wasn't the mansion that made Robyn look bad. It was her refusal to own it. Had she looked into the camera and said, "Yes, Kody and I made this choice. It hurt others, and I regret that," fans might have felt compassion. But instead, her defensiveness and evasion made her look selfish, even if that wasn't the full truth. When Christine finally broke free from Kody, she became a fan favorite. She spoke truth to power. She admitted she was miserable. She refused to continue living in a situation where she didn't feel loved. It was a moment of real empowerment, and viewers cheered her on. But Robyn's reaction? Confusing at best. She broke down in tears and claimed to be devastated. She said she didn't understand why Christine couldn't keep trying. But she never acknowledged her own role in the tension. She didn't address the growing rift between her and the other wives. She didn't say, "Maybe I made mistakes too." Instead, Robyn positioned herself as the tragic figure, always trying to hold the family together, never being understood. And yet, she still remained silent on the hard questions. Did she try to form genuine bonds with the other women? Did she challenge Kody when he dismissed them? Did she use her influence to help the group, or just protect her own interests? This selective storytelling created more resentment. To fans, it seemed like Robyn wanted sympathy without self-reflection. And in a show built on raw family drama, that kind of image only worsens public opinion. Yanel's separation from Kody was another emotional turning point for sister wives. After years of staying mostly neutral, Yanel reached a breaking point. Her bond with Christine had grown, her patience with Kody had worn thin, and she realized that she was being treated as less important. Yet again, Robyn responded with confusion. She said she wanted the family to stay intact, that she believed in plural marriage, that this wasn't what she wanted. But she didn't seem to understand, or at least admit, why the other women were finally walking away. When Mary's split from Kody became official, Robyn seemed equally upset. But there was still no reckoning, no reflection on the deeper issues. Viewers were hoping for Robyn to finally have her moment of clarity, to say something like, "I should have seen this coming. I wasn't there for them like I should have been." But instead, she cried, questioned, and stayed vague. This pattern is now deeply embedded in Robyn's storyline. And it's damaging not just to her reputation, but to her credibility as a central figure in the show. Because without honesty, there is no growth. And without growth, there is only blame and bitterness. Reality TV fans are a savvy bunch. They can spot manipulation, selective editing, and false narratives from a mile away. And while every cast member on Sister Wives has made mistakes, most have at least owned up to them in some way. Robyn has not. Her refusal to give straight answers, her tendency to cry rather than explain, and her habit of distancing herself from the family's dysfunction has made her look worse than she likely is. She might genuinely care about Kody. She might truly have wanted a strong plural family. But intentions mean little without transparency. At this point, it's not Robyn's actions alone that are the problem, it's the disconnect between what she says and what fans see. She says she's not the favorite, yet she's the only one left. She says she wanted sisterhood, yet she's isolated. She says she didn't mean to hurt anyone, yet she refuses to acknowledge their pain in a meaningful way. And in the world of reality TV, that kind of image sticks. So where does Robyn Brown go from here? There are rumors of spin-offs, potential new seasons, and dramatic family confrontations still to come. But one thing is clear, if Robyn wants to rebuild her image, she's going to have to start telling the full truth. That means admitting mistakes. That means calling out Kody when he's wrong. That means showing vulnerability not just through tears, but through honesty. If she can finally let down the walls she's built, fans might be willing to reevaluate her. But if she continues on the same path, vague interviews, confusing emotional responses, and refusal to take ownership, then the backlash will only intensify. And that's unfortunate because Robyn may not be as villainous as people believe. She may simply be misunderstood, trapped in a narrative she doesn't know how to escape from. The tragedy isn't that Robyn is the last wife standing. The real tragedy is that she may lose the chance to rewrite her story because she won't confront the truth. And if that happens, Robyn Brown won't just be the last wife left, she'll be the last one still pretending everything was okay. The story of Sister Wives is no longer just about polygamy or family dynamics. It's about truth, accountability, and evolution. Christine evolved. Yanel evolved. Even Mary found her own path. Now the spotlight is on Robyn. Will she take the honest road? Or continue down the path of avoidance? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the audience is watching and they're done accepting half-truths. If Robyn wants redemption, she needs to stop crying and start talking. Because her silence is no longer protecting her, it's hurting her. And fans are ready for the real story. The question is Robyn ready to tell it? The world of Sister Wives has never been short of heartbreak, revelations, and emotional storms, but nothing quite compares to the tragic past carried by David Woolley, the man who brought joy back into Christine Brown's life. While fans have come to know David as the charming and grounded new partner in Christine's journey of healing, few are aware of the devastating personal tragedy that nearly broke him. Beneath his calm smile lies a heartbreaking story of loss, grief, and an unthinkable tragedy that unfolded behind closed doors. A family calamity that shaped his path long before reality TV ever entered the picture. David Woolley's story is one that even the most emotionally tough viewers might find themselves struggling to process. Because while Christine was enduring emotional disconnection and heartache in her plural marriage to Kody Brown, David, too, was fighting his own battle in the shadows of a painful personal history, one that involved deep emotional scars, a complicated marriage, and the unimaginable heartbreak of losing a spouse in the most tragic way possible. Before stepping into the limelight alongside Christine, David Woolley lived a quiet life in Utah. He wasn't someone known to the public. He wasn't a reality TV figure, or even someone eager for attention. He was a businessman, a father of 8, and most notably, a man who had once shared his life with a woman named Margaret Lucille Sulian Woolley, his wife for over 2 decades. Their story from the outside appeared simple and loving. But like many relationships, what people saw on the surface only told a fraction of the full story. David and Margaret married on November 17, 1990. Together, they raised a large family of 8 children: Colton, Garrett, Adam, Reagan, Peyton, Dallas, Katie, and Maddox. To many, they seemed like the epitome of stability. Margaret was deeply involved with her family. She was remembered by those closest to her as warm, caring, and generous. She gave her time to friends, helped her neighbors, and tried to be the kind of woman everyone could count on. But under that caring exterior was a woman struggling with invisible wounds, emotional pain, and what would later be revealed as a profound sense of isolation. On June 20, 2012, everything changed. Margaret was found dead in a hotel room in Leahy, Utah. She had taken her own life by overdosing on a combination of pills and alcohol. The details of that day remain haunting to those who were involved, especially David, who had been frantically trying to find her after she sent disturbing messages to her best friend. Those messages had prompted concern, and David did everything in his power to locate her. But it was too late. Margaret left behind a handwritten suicide note. In it, she expressed feelings of being misunderstood, broken, and emotionally overwhelmed. She wrote of her internal struggles, of depression and hopelessness that had built up over time. Tragically, she addressed each of her 8 children, sharing her love for them but also offering apologies and final farewells. Her words carried love but also pain, deep, raw pain that had clearly festered for years. And toward David, the message took a darker tone. Margaret accused him of being controlling, manipulative, and emotionally distant. She painted a picture of a marriage where she felt unseen, unloved, and emotionally isolated. It was a moment that would change David's life forever. He was devastated, not only because he had lost the mother of his children, but because he now had to carry the burden of Margaret's final words, her accusations, and the fractured portrait of their life together. The grief wasn't just about death, it was also about guilt, confusion, and the impossible task of answering questions that would never have clear answers. From that point on, David's life became a storm of grief and survival. He was now a single father raising 8 children on his own. And while most people would crumble under such weight, David did something extraordinary. He showed up. Every single day. He cooked, worked, comforted, and guided his kids through the darkest period of their lives, all while trying to keep himself afloat. His company, David Woolley Drywall, became his escape and his way to provide for his children. But behind the walls of his home, the real work, the emotional labor, was being done in silence. David kept his past close to the chest. In fact, by the time Christine Brown entered his life, he had already spent years healing, coping, and trying to rebuild something resembling peace. But make no mistake, David was not fully healed. Grief like that doesn't vanish. It settles into your bones, it lingers in the quiet, and it shapes how you love again. So, when Christine, also coming out of a failed and emotionally exhausting relationship, met David, something unspoken connected them. Together, David and Christine became a symbol of what second chances can look like. But that doesn't erase the shadows. In private moments, David has surely revisited that hotel room, that note, those final words. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning how to live alongside grief, how to carry the weight without being consumed by it. And it's clear that David has managed to do just that. As their love story plays out for fans and viewers of Sister Wives, it's important to remember that not all heroes are born on television. Some are forged in silence, in suffering, and in the small, everyday choices to keep going. David Woolley is not just Christine Brown's new husband. He is a survivor of deep loss, a man who bore witness to the darkest corners of human emotion, and someone who chose love again despite every reason not to. David's children have also embraced this new chapter. Several of them have been seen at family gatherings, weddings, and vacations, supporting their father's happiness and forming bonds with Christine's children. The blending of their families has been remarkably smooth, a testament to the kindness and grace David and Christine both carry. What lies ahead for the Woolley Brown family is unknown. But one thing is certain, David Woolley is not defined by the tragedy that almost destroyed him. He is defined by how he rose from it. He is defined by how he chose to keep loving. And he is defined by the unwavering commitment to his children, his new wife, and the life they're building together. The world now sees him smiling beside Christine on Instagram, holding her hand in wedding photos, laughing during family trips. But that smile, though warm and joyful, carries with it the memory of sorrow, the ache of loss, and the knowledge that every second of happiness is hard-earned. If Sister Wives is a story about family, then David Woolley's chapter is perhaps the most poignant of all. His story is a reminder that behind every happy ending, there's often a beginning soaked in heartbreak. And for those who feel broken or lost, his journey is a quiet assurance that healing is possible, that love can return, and that even the most shattered hearts can find wholeness again. For fans waiting to hear more from Christine, her upcoming memoir, Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom, will provide deeper insight into her life post-Kody, and it's expected to touch on her new life with David. Whether or not David's full story will be included remains to be seen. But for now, his presence in Christine's world is a beautiful, if bittersweet, symbol of what it means to survive tragedy and choose joy anyway. Together, David and Christine became a symbol of what second chances can look like. But that doesn't erase the shadows. In private moments, David has surely revisited that hotel room, that note, those final words. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning how to live alongside grief, how to carry the weight without being consumed by it. And it's clear that David has managed to do just that. As their love story plays out for fans and viewers of Sister Wives, it's important to remember that not all heroes are born on television. Some are forged in silence, in suffering, and in the small, everyday choices to keep going. David Woolley is not just Christine Brown's new husband. He is a survivor of deep loss, a man who bore witness to the darkest corners of human emotion, and someone who chose love again despite every reason not to. David's children have also embraced this new chapter. Several of them have been seen at family gatherings, weddings, and vacations, supporting their father's happiness and forming bonds with Christine's children. The blending of their families has been remarkably smooth, a testament to the kindness and grace David and Christine both carry. What lies ahead for the Woolley Brown family is unknown. But one thing is certain, David Woolley is not defined by the tragedy that almost destroyed him. He is defined by how he rose from it. He is defined by how he chose to keep loving. And he is defined by the unwavering commitment to his children, his new wife, and the life they're building together.